I see all this potential, and I see it squandered. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives.
The grind is like, you got to be there every day. If you're there 3 days a week, it's not as good as 5.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be there 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 might be better than 7, because sometimes 7 you burn out. You want to keep enthusiasm, because that's a fuel. Enthusiasm, there's something about enthusiasm that, like, you got to balance discipline and enthusiasm. Discipline's critical. You have to be able to show up, but you also have to enjoy the shit out of it. And so enjoying the shit out of it with discipline is the key.
What percentage of your potential would you like to have? Because if you say you'd like 60 and you'd like to spend the other 40% having fun, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But what percentage of what is available to you would you like to make happen? And there's no wrong answer. What is it? And I went 100.
I want it all.
It is the ABCDE method. A is the things that you must do, top priority. B is the things that you should do, second priority. C is the things it would be nice to do if you got all your A's and B's done. D stands for delegate, E stands for eliminate. So when you make a list, the first thing you do is you ABC all your list. A, what you must do, B, what you should do, C, what would be nice to do, and then delegate and eliminate the others.
Passion and consistency. You have to love what you do. You have to get up every day. And I get here every day at 9:30 in the morning. When we sold in 2016, a lot of people in the company made a lot of money, and they all took off and they retired.
Yeah.
Right? Other than the Fertitas, I made the most money. I'm still here.
When we were kids, my mom hung a poster over our bed. It had a picture of a bumblebee, and under the picture, the caption read, "According to all aerodynamic laws, the bumblebee cannot fly because its body weight is not in the right proportion to its wingspan. But ignoring these laws, the bee flies anyway."
Would you like a life where you were never outside of where you never did anything that challenged you or pushed you? Would you choose that? No. So why are you complaining about your life being full of that? Pressure in itself isn't the problem. It's the story we tell ourselves about our pressure that causes us to be unhealthy. Stress and pressure don't actually kill people unless you believe it will.
I isolate myself. I don't look at messages on Instagram. I don't send messages on Instagram. I don't go out. You would not like my life. Yeah, I live alone, and sometimes
people play for the success, but they are not aware that success is this.
There's so much opportunity on the other side of being willing to persist for an extended period of time on the correct path without getting positive reinforcement from your environment. And the longer you can stick with something without that positive feedback loop in terms of the big external thing, the easier the opportunities are because so few people can pursue them.
The major mental effect of testosterone is it makes effort feel good.
Many people want to be exceptional, but they're afraid of being an exception. I think it's wanting an outcome without the requirement that the outcome has. And so we can't do the same thing that everyone else approves of and then somehow get a different outcome that everyone else does.
And my 3 questions are, what do you want? How badly do you want it? And how much are you willing to suffer?
Mr. Shelby, you're meant to be resting.
I've learned something, Francis. There's no rest for me in this world. Perhaps in the next.
List all the things that you aren't willing to give up for the dreams that you have, and that is what the person who will beat you is willing to give up.
Right after you were injured, you went on Facebook and you posted a lengthy blog. Yeah, you know what this is?
Oh, yeah.
You said this.
You gonna read the whole thing?
No, I'm gonna read some of it. This is such BS. All the training and sacrifice just flew out the window with one step that I've done millions of times. The frustration is unbearable. The anger is rage. Why the hell did this happen? Makes no damn sense. Now I'm supposed to come back from this and be the same player or better at 35? How in the world am I supposed to do that? I have no clue. Do I have the consistent will to overcome this thing? Maybe I should break out the rocking chair and reminisce on the career that was. Maybe this is how my book ends. Maybe Father Time has defeated me. Then again, maybe not. It's 3:30 a.m., my foot feels like dead weight, my head is spinning from the pain meds, and I'm wide awake. Forgive my venting, but what's the purpose of social media if I won't bring it to you real, no image? Feels good to vent, to let it out, to feel as if this is the worst thing ever. Because after all the venting, the real perspective sets in. There are far greater issues and challenges in the world than a torn Achilles. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Find the silver lining and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear. I've always loved that quote. That's Mamba mentality. We don't quit, we don't cower, we don't run, we endure and conquer.
You know, the best quality in the world that you can develop, and I give it to you.
And I will not be the person who quit before I got what I wanted or what I needed or what I felt I was supposed to have.
I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I don't care what it is, I'm unstoppable. Nothing will stop me. The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it. And you know something? The statistics show that 95% of the goals that you set for yourself, you will achieve if you refuse to quit.
Nobody cared about this. Yeah. He was tired, he had personal problem, family problem. Nobody cares.
Everything I do in life, it sucks. Everything I do in life, it sucks. That's why when I was 300 pounds and 24 years old, it wasn't like I had some big epiphany. I knew my entire life was going to be a struggle, which is why I just ignored it. And I said, I'm not even trying to jump off into this shit and learn how to read, how to write, how to memorize, how to become something I am not. But through that process, something happened to me. And I realized this is why I feel sorry for no one.
Here's the thing, getting better at anything really never feels good. Like if you're building resilience, it's not a time that you're liking. You know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't feel good. Like, so that's what, okay, I don't like this. This feels like shit, but because it's hard, because I can't lift these weights anymore, because I can't, these other, you know, I'm exhausted and the other kids are still, you know, running sprints or whatever, you know, but like those are the moments, for what it's worth, where you're getting better.
The more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it.
But the quality is to develop the quality of being unstoppable. Develop the quality of being unstoppable. Say in yourself that no matter what life throws at me, it'll never stop me. No matter how rough it gets, I will never quit, and nothing will ever stop me. Make the decision that you can be tired, you can be worn out, but nothing is ever going to stop you.
Then why didn't you quit? You knew I was trying to get rid of you, yet you stayed.
Yeah, I stayed. I stayed because every time you threw a brick at my head or said I smelled, it hurt. But it could never hurt more than it did every day of my life just being me. I stayed because I thought if anyone could change me, could make me not me, it was you.
If most people don't change, you are going to be an outlier if you're somebody who does change.
This is all preparing me for the big time. So when this time comes, I got to be ready and I got to roll out.
Because you have to want it. You have to want to be better.
Everyone will always underestimate you. You must make them pay for it.
The signal of being in shape is usually a reliable indicator of what you've done to have to get there.
I have to go over the same page over and over and over and over again. I'm not a real smart guy. And what I mean by that is I was born with ADD, ADHD. Like my brain cannot retain information.
You identify with this gift. We all got the gift. This is something that we've all been blessed with. At some point, if we listen to that little thing that speaks to us inside, some people call it instinct, some people call it a vibe, some people call it an energy, whatever the you call it. Some people call it a voice. Whatever that thing is, bro, if it sparks the thought.
Worrying isn't aiding your performance. Nothing is as important as you think it is when you're thinking about it. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different.
learn to pick yourself up on your own. A lot of times these fights and these battles, you gotta be your own fucking coach. You gotta be your own motivator.
Temptation is always going to be to just go back to what's normal, go back to what I know. I want to understand the psychology of how you have arrived at this particular position.
So you can honestly outwork anything, but it's that you obviously are a very talented man.
Bind together over mutual hatreds of outgroups. Like the oldest story in human history is that group of people are different to us.
Yeah.
Let's get